Hello, hello, good evening. It's Monica from Life is Art, and this is the catalog walkthrough for the September to December Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. Sorry, close your eyes. Making the screen dance around a little bit. And just getting centered. Trying to level things out. One moment, one more jiggle. Hopefully the last. There we go. Okay. If you're joining me live, just say hello or howdy so I know you're here. And as an extra bonus, when you comment on the live stream, you get an entry into the launch party door prize draw. So for those of you who are just joining because you saw that I'm going live on YouTube, tonight is the launch party that I'm hosting for the new September to December mini catalog. Here it is. And so there's an event on my Facebook business page, and you can click on into there and follow along with what's happening this evening. And here it is. Are you excited? Some of you received yours in the mail because you had requested to receive a copy from me. And so I had those mailed out. If you did not and you have not got one, you're going to want to get one. But there is a digital copy on the website, lifeisart.stampinup.net. You can go on there and look at the digital copy. I've posted links in the event page, so feel free to go in there. And while we're going through this catalog, keep in mind that we're also playing our game that to find all of these sneak peeks that I've been posting and figure out which pages they're on. So mark those down as we go through. And then you can message me your page numbers, and that's another entry into the prize draw for the door prize. So on the event page, you will see over the course of the next 5 hours, I will be posting different things there, and some of them will, your participation in them will also earn you entries. So lots of ways to get some good Stampin' Up! Stuff. I see Deborah is joining me live. Good evening, Deborah, and Heather is here as well. Hello, hello, and Jennifer too. Good evening. Alrighty, so we're going to crack the cover on this. I mistakenly thought that this was starting on September the 1st, and so I had originally set the date for tonight's event for September the 1st, which was Sunday, and then at the very last moment read the fine print, that it wasn't dropping until the 4th, and we didn't want to go against company policies and show anything we shouldn't show before the time. So have a look at this lovely catalog cover. Oh, there's even a dimensional backing stuck on there. You can tell it's been in the craft room when it's got some dimensional backing stuck onto it. So there are some really cute houses on the front here, and that's exciting for me because I love houses. And so that's super fun. Let's open up the cover. The first page, it's a very wide catalog. The first page here, you're going to see a table of contents. Then there's some information about different kinds of scrapbooking, and it's also got the motto for Stampin' Up!, which is to love what we do and share what we love. As we help others enjoy creativity and worthwhile accomplishments, in this we make a difference. And that is our statement of the heart. Okay, next page. Speaking of making a difference, we have each year Stampin' Up! Chooses a giving back or a give back product. And this year the give back product is this particular paper collection called Sentimental Christmas. And this year's give back is going to benefit children's literacy. Every purchase of the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper, Stampin' Up! Will donate $4 to organizations dedicated to the future of children around the world. So If you buy it as a standalone, just the paper pack, they will donate $4. If you buy it as part of the suite bundle, that also will be $4 donated. So no matter how you buy it, every purchase of this designer series paper or DSP will get that donation sent to help organizations involved in children's literacy, which I think is phenomenal. Then the next page, you will see a message from Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up! So you can read through that on the digital one or in the in-person one. There's a little bit of information about joining to become a demonstrator like me. Yay! So if you're interested in that, take a look at that. And then there's some lovely pictures here showing some people working on crafting, step-by-step crafting, because we have a lovely kits collection at Stampin' Up! Lots of kits that come with brilliant instructions and everything you need in the box, and it's super simple and really fun. I've actually had a lot of fun putting together the kits that I have got so far, and I've already got a couple that are on my wish list for the next order. So if you're thinking ahead to Christmas, a crafting kit makes a very lovely gift. There are also kits that will help you make some Christmas cards for Christmas. So if you're going to get down to the crunch time and you're just going to need a little extra help getting some cards made, why not just use a kit? Get them made, get them sent, because that's the best part, is getting them sent out and having the ability to share that Christmas greeting with somebody. Then it talks about the quick and easy options that Stampin' Up! Has. And one of the things that they have is sort of a mix and match idea where you get some card bases and envelopes. And then, so here we have the gold dipped mix and match cards and envelopes. So I'll just bring this a little closer to the camera because I know it's kind of far away. So there's lovely inking going on here, and then there's gold along the edges, and it's front and back of the cards, which I think is super cool. And then there is a set of tags that you can get. And so there are 8 sheets, 2 of each, and they're 5 by 7 inches, and they have pre-cut images that also include gold foil. So it kind of goes along with those lovely cards. So you can just punch those out and add them to your card. And then there's some sort of Christmas icons. And this is the Joyful Images Mix and Match Ephemera pack. So there are, teddy bears and hot chocolate and peppermints and skates and wreaths and trees and reindeer and snowmen and all sorts of things. Again, you get 8 sheets, 2 of each, and you can mix and match and use them however you want. And then there's also the Joyful Sayings. So this one is all full of sayings. Again, 4 different designs, 2 of each, and they're 5 by 7 size, and you can just punch those out. So the end result is that you can create some cards just by taking a card base, punching out a nice big tag with a sentiment, adding some extra little punch outs in behind, and creating just a lovely look. So they're saying creativity made easy. So there's not even any stamping involved if you don't want stamping. I mean, you could always add a little bling or something on there because, what card can't benefit from a little bling? But it's really quick and easy. You punch them out, you stick them together. You could use a little bit of dimensionals to kind of pop them up and make them special. But super simple, quick and easy. Hey, Laura, you found me. Hooray! Yes, loving their card kits. Then the next page has a selection of templates. And if you were looking on the event page before the video started an hour ago, I posted this picture of templates. And so that is a creativity game that we're playing tonight. I want you to choose one of those templates and create a project with it. So over here, they have shown using those gold dipped cards and creating some of the images, or using some of the images to create things based on those templates. So if you look at this tag down here, that has the lovely circle with the little cabin, and then it's got two little snowflake circles and a tag. Well, if you look over here, you will see the tag. Where is it? Right there. That's the tag template they used to create that. Then thinking of one of the cards, this card right here with the snowman, again, that lovely gold foil. There's the snowman and the tag and the row of trees going across there. Then on this side, you will see this template up here, and that's what they used to create that card. So you can see this shows an oval. They used a snowman. This shows, you know, a straight piece, and they used trees. So these are just really rough templates to give you a jumping off point for some creativity. And I think it's really fun that they kind of combine that with this mix and match idea of all the fun ephemera and tags and sentiments. All right, next page. Now, this is where I get to start showing you fun stuff. So this is a little bit festive, which is a 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper. And the best way for you to see it is for me to show it. So let me just move the catalog out of the way and bring it on in so you can see it in full and living color. Now, I do have to apologize. I made several errors in my ordering of the things for tonight's event, and I unfortunately do not have any stamp sets except for one from this catalog. So sad, but I do have all the paper to show you. So, and I have one little bit of embellishment. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm without stamps, but not for long because another order is going in soon. So this particular set of the a little bit festive specialty DSP has 3 printed sheets. So there's side A of the first one, and there's side B, nice and red and joyful. Very geometric, almost looks like the center of a kaleidoscope that's happening there. And then the second page is this fun one that looks very much like knitting or crochet or lacing or basket weaving, something like that, or a herringbone almost. And on the back side, this gorgeous plaid or check. Then the third piece of DSP has this. Isn't this gorgeous? Bows and balls galore on here. Super fun. And then the back side is this gorgeous candy stripe. So 3 very pretty papers, and you get one of each. And then the other 3 pieces of what they're calling specialty DSP, designer series paper, are punch outs, die cuts. So the first one is card fronts and this stripy ribbon. And each of these is punched out. You know what? I'll just pop one out so you can see. Let me do this one. So there's sort of an outside frame that's holding it on there, which you could really, you know, if you used your paper trimmer, you could cut it out and use that too on a project as just a little hint of a frame of something. And then you've got this one, but this center part also pops out. So you could leave it together if you wanted to just have it plain and white, but you could pop it out. You could use some dimensionals and lift it up and add some sentiments or some icons in there. And so that's super cute. So that's the next page, are these 6 card fronts, or kind of like the memories and more cards. And then the next one is die cuts of all these beautiful wreaths and candy canes and trees. And if you hold on while I shift it around in the light, I hope you can see there's some gold foil here and there on there. And I think that's super pretty. Loving that. And I like this. There's a wreath that's just done in light bulbs. Isn't that cute? There's a little gingerbread house. There's a couple gorgeous trees. There's a little, this one is like a little landscape here. So there's a little snowdrift with trees. There's some mistletoe, Christmas presents. Every time I look at it, I see something else. And they really do come out easily because that mistletoe just fell right out. And then the third page This one's sitting on the piece of cardboard that comes in the pack. The third page has some gorgeous, very traditional kinds of icons. There's some beautiful poinsettias. Can you see that gold foil? I'm trying to move it around in the light. Poinsettias and sleighs and a red truck. There's some nice little frames that you can put around things, little wreathy bits, ornaments, bows, more trees, bigger ornaments, lots of fun stuff. So that is the A Little Bit Festive 12 by 12 designer series paper. I'm just going to try and carefully put these pieces all back together so we can go on to the next thing. There we go. Lovely. Okay. So that's the A Little Bit Festive 12 by 12, and that's on page 18. And you can see here they've made some examples of things that they have created, adding them onto cards with the wreath and the bow. They've added a little sentiment. We've got this lovely swag with the stockings, and that's actually one big die cut. It's not individual pieces, which is super fun. All right. Oops. Catalog is floppy. Then we have Memories and More cards. Remember how I said these card fronts were kind of like Memories and More? So we have one that's specifically to go with something you'll see farther along, Reindeer Days. So this is the Reindeer Days Memory and More card pack, and it has 54, can you imagine? 54 double-sided cards in both 3x4 and 4x6 sizes, and sorry, I have hiccups. And there are 4 sticker sheets in the set too. Now I don't have these to show you, but they're very much like close to my heart's Picture My Life cards. So they're just double-sided. They've got sentiments, they've got pictures, and they're great for pocket scrapbooking, making card fronts, adding onto layouts, that sort of thing. You could even use it as a postcard. And then, of course, there's 4 sticker sheets with some nice extra little things that you can add in if you're doing, say, pocket scrapbooking or any of those things. They would be really fun for a mini album, if you're making a mini album. So that's Memories and More. And then the next page is just showing some decorative ideas of what you can do with some of the items in the catalog. And now we move on to the sweets. So they're saying sweet, sweet, sweets. And they're talking about how they coordinate with each other, that they're on trend, and that it aids your creative outlet. So the first one up is called Season of Elegance, and it is a beautiful paper pack and sweet. So it's more than just the designer series paper. There's a couple Stampin' die sets, there's embellishments, there's an embossing folder, there's 2 paper packs, actually, 2 different designer series paper. So let me show you some of the artwork here from this collection. I love how they've layered up these trees, and some are in one of the papers and some are just in plain cardstock. They've done some inking and some splattering to create this background. Here there's some designer series paper in there, and then they've stamped out these beautiful trees and layered them one on top of the other. Here's some embossing, some lovely gold foiling. You'll see that in just a second. And layering it up there with some bling, bling, bling. Some of these are stamped in the background with some extra things added on top. And you can see that those are just gorgeous trees. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. The colors in this collection are Cherry Cobbler, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock, Basic Beige, and Gold. So they're very rich colors when they're all stuck together. You're going to see that here in a second. Okay, so before we go on, no, let's do the stamp sets first. The stamp and die sets that come with this suite are Peaceful Season and Peaceful Evergreens. It's very peaceful. And so the Peaceful Season is a whole bunch of sentiments, which are really useful. So there's things like wishing you all the things that warm your heart and lift your spirits, hoping this season is bright and beautiful, thinking of you with warm feelings, and a wish for all the merriest, Love from our home to yours. Love from my home to yours, which is great if you're a single person and the our home is a little bit irritating. So there's one that says my home. A season of wonder and happiness. Friends and family are the true gift of Christmas. Peace and joy. Cheer all year. All the best. Wishing you and yours Christmas in our heart. Merry. Happy is in the air. Lots of beautiful things. And then there are dies that cut out very kind of unique shapes that have these little openings on the corners and edges, and that allows you to be able to put ribbons through and attach them to parcels, envelopes, packages, cards, layouts, whatever you want to do, and stick them on that way. So you could even use these shapes with different sentiments in them. They don't have to be Christmas. That would be cute as a like a monogram on, say, a wedding invitation or something like that, or even as like, 25th wedding anniversary card. Then there's the peaceful evergreens, and there's some gorgeous evergreens individually or as a group. There's a star. There's some snowy goodness happening here. And then the dies, there are the solid background trees and then the detail of the trees. This one cuts out the stamped image. Here's the background that creates the polka dots that we saw on the other page here. That cardstock in the background of that center tree, that was created using that die. And then we've got little bits to make a bow. Okay. And then on this page, we have the bling that's associated with this suite, and that is gold textured adhesive back dots. And then we also have a Painted Trees 3D embossing folder, and it's a 6x6 folder, so that will definitely be good sized embossed trees, which I think is lovely. And then there's also some ribbon, this cherry cobbler and gold 1/4-inch satin ribbon. But let's take a look at the Season of Elegance 12x12 designer series paper, because it is, ooh la la, very pretty. So as we look through, the first sheet is this beautiful mossy meadow and old olive green. And you can see, let me see, where's best to get that shine. All that beautiful gold foiling. It's very distressed, very much like, I don't know, it makes me want to think like crushed velvet almost. That's how luxurious it looks. And there is a little bit of texture to it because of that gold foiling. You can feel the difference between just the matte paper and the gold foil. So that's the first sheet. Then we have this one that's in sort of a basic beige and gold foil. Again, the foiling is done in a different pattern, but very similar in feel. Isn't that beautiful? What do you think of this gold foil? And then look at this. This is the cherry cobbler with gold foil. Now this is kind of cool if you were doing a layout, but if you were doing cards and you wanted a bit of that gold foil in each one, you could cut through the center and then cut it into thirds and get 6 card fronts out of that were more of a standard size. How beautiful. And there's like little splatterings of gold up here as well. It's not just the main bit. I don't know if the lights are picking that up or not. There's little splatters of gold foil. I'm trying to move it around so you can see. Yeah, we caught a little bit of it there. How fun is that? And here's another one that's a little bit different, but again, in sort of that beigey color. Lots of gold on there. And then look at the pretty peacock. Oh my goodness, the same kind of feel as that other one, but this one's more splattery instead of spritzy. This is more like ruggedy, splattery with the gold going all over. And then the last one we have with some old olive and some mossy meadow and gorgeousness. So what a lovely collection when you see it all together and when you see it in bits and pieces. Isn't that beautiful? There we go. I'm just trying to see. It feels like Although I have all my lights on, it feels super dark. Are you guys finding it's very dark on the screen? I don't know whether it's because of the foil that it does that, but, or maybe it's just because I'm sitting at a weird angle. But anyway, there's the beautiful colors from that Season of Elegance 12 by 12 DSP. Okay, let's scooch those ones out of the way. Bring our catalog back in. And flip the page. I should say that in these suites, you can buy the entire suite, and it'll show you at the top that what the cost is for the entire suite. Then you can buy the Stampin' dies as a bundle, which is a little bit less price point than buying them individually. And then all the individual pieces as well. So you can kind of pick and choose, or you can buy the whole thing. All right, our next one is called Reindeer Days. And let me just show you some of the artwork that was created for this collection. We've got our Merry Christmas. Look at this little die-cut reindeer popping his head out from in behind here with the lovely presents. And a gorgeous embossed plaid. Then we've got our little reindeer hanging out inside the gift box. Some lovely good things happening here. I love the layers. We've got a couple different layers here, and then one of the reindeer, and a little tag, some Mary Mary. And then here again, a nice round cutout with the evergreen boughs, and a little bit of gold embossing, heat embossing there on some early espresso. These ones here I think were probably stamped in and gold heat embossed as well. So pretty. All right. The colors in this collection are Real Red, Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, Pool Party, Pecan Pie, and Early Espresso. So red and green, a smidgen of a different kind of blue, a little bit fresher than a traditional Christmas color, and then some gorgeous browns because it's Reindeer Days. So let's take a look at the pattern paper, the DSP, for this collection. First off, we have the reindeers. Look at these guys. And my brain immediately says we need to fussy cut them all. It's a bit like Pokemon. Got to get them all. We got to fussy cut them all. And you may, hint, hint, wink, wink, see some of that later on this evening. So on the back side of all these gorgeous Santa hat wearing reindeer, we have some beautiful presents with that fresh Granny Apple Green as the base. There's a little bit of the Pool Party splattered or smooshed in the background here that you kind of don't pick up on right away. Then the next piece has all these really cute reindeer with their Santa hats done in a nice pattern with some cardinals and some little trees and some hollies and candy canes. And they're wearing wreaths around their neck. Super cute. The back side is this, I want to say mistletoe and poinsettia at the same time. It's holly. Holly and berries. But my brain just couldn't think of it. It's holly and berries. And super beautiful. I like that it's a little bit smaller pattern than the first two. These are larger patterns. And you get 2 of each of these sheets. Now, I'm not showing you both of them because I've already cut some of them up. This one is really, really fun. There's some moms and babies reindeer on here and all different little poses. I love this one. He's kind of decorating the tree with the help from a cardinal. And super, super cute. This one is having a little cup of coffee. You know, when you look at it, you kind of start picking out little things. I think that's the only one that has a cup of coffee. And but just interesting things are happening. All right. Did I show you the backside? No, I didn't. A very, very large Christmassy red and green and white plaid on the backside here. Super fun. We're going to use this in a little bit for some crafting. And then here we have sort of outdoor, winter, snowmen, skating, reindeer. And some of them are carrying presents. Some of them have presents with them. And there's also little bunnies. So there's a little bunny riding on this sled. There's a little bunny in front of the presents. I think that's super cute. They use some leaves for the ears and twigs for antlers because they're not snowmen, they're snow deer. And a little scarf on there. And here he's, helping to decorate. Some of them have little birdies hanging out. So this one has a little cardinal on his back and a couple birds up in the antlers. And I just think they're super cute. I love this one too. He's like, where are we going? His eyes are so big. The back side of this page is a whole lot of jingle bells, which again is another small pattern that works really well with a lot of Christmassy themed projects. Here we have a little more natural scene of deer out in the snowy forest and just hanging out. And so the deer are a little bit smaller, the trees are a little bit larger. And I think this is really beautiful for lots of outdoor photography. Then on the back side, just a whole lot of trees. And again, you get 2 of each of these. So if you can't decide which side you want, you at least have 2. And then here we have some reindeer kind of going in swooping patterns. I'm thinking it's sort of a nod to Santa's sleigh and the reindeer, but super cute. It almost reminds me, you know how back in the day they used to have those round reels, and you would look through a little viewfinder and the thing would spin around. And it was kind of like an early version of a movie. That's what those reindeer make me think of, because it looks like they're up and down, like they're jumping as they're running. Yeah, my mind goes to weird things. And then the backside are these gorgeous scallopy Christmas lights, but they're super tiny, which I think is great, because from a distance they just look like a swoopy pattern, but when you get close you can see that they're lights. And you know what, there's probably somebody, I wouldn't want to name names, who might fussy cut out a string of those. So that is the paper collection for the reindeer days, with all of these really cute reindeer and lots of fun things happening. So let's set that aside and take a look at what else is in this suite besides the designer series paper. There is also a stamp set called Reindeer Fun, and it has a mom and a baby and another one. Then there's also some little embellishments that you can put on the deer. There's a tree, there's some bells, some little extra bits. Christmas is better together. May all your days be full of cheer, and Merry Christmas are the sentiments on there. And then there's a coordinating die set to cut out the stamped images, but also the die for that gorgeous sort of through the trees circle. And then there's some Christmas lights. There's also the deer faces that we saw in the previous page, and bits and pieces to create presents, as well as jingle bells and a little wreath. Although I think the wreath is to go around the reindeer's head if you wanted it. Then there's also some real red and white adhesive back peppermint embellishments, which are super fun. This one is really exciting. It's the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, and I think that's going to be a really good one to get. Then there's also some real red and white baker's twine, which is super handy, as well as a book treat box. And you get 10 boxes in a pack. These are 3 inches by 4 inches, so just a nice little size for little gifts or interesting card making. So those are all the things that you can get in the Reindeer Days. Let's flip the page to see the Sentimental Christmas. Every time I see this, I think the song Sentimental Journey. But it's the Sentimental Christmas, and the colors in this one are Poppy Parade, Old Olive, Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Pecan Pie, and Basic Beige. And this is the collection that we were talking about earlier, that Stampin' Up! Will be donating $4 from each purchase of this collection to go towards organizations that are involved with children's literacy. And so let's take a look at the paper pack. Alrighty, Look at this first page. A beautiful background with snowy and glowy because of this gorgeous lantern here. There's some boughs, some trees in the background, and it is just beautiful. And I'm just trying to remember. Yes, it's sort of like a light peacock that they've done in the background. But you can see some of the bits are darker. Some of them are really faded out. There's little dots in there. And then the beautiful boughs. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's kind of done as if it was drawn with pencil crayon. It's very, very vintage vibey. And then the back side of this, keeping in mind that lantern, is more glowing light from all these beautiful vintage inspired candles. And if you see them up close, there's little clusters of evergreen and baubles all around the base of them. And then gorgeous snowflakes in the background. You can really feel the vintage vibe. So that's why the name Sentimental Christmas. Here's some lovely clusters of some Christmas florals and holly and berries. And then on the back side, there are some gorgeous candy stripes for the sweet tooth. And then here, look at, we've got some more reindeer, and they're kind of done in little vignettes with some little chubby brown birdies and little tufts of snow on the branches, little holly berries and tiny little trees. And again, it's all done to look like it was made with pencil crayon. It has that look about it. All the little vignettes are all different. And then on the back side, we've got some gorgeous, gorgeous pecan pie and snowflakes layered up. There's kind of a distressed look where the color is coming in and out. Then there's different kinds of snowflakes, kind of layered one on top of the other. Big ones, medium ones, teeny tiny ones, little tiny polka dots. Really, really pretty. And then here we have, yes, I did. I was thinking I didn't show you the backside. It was the little reindeer. Then we have some gorgeous trees. I think this is really, really, really pretty. It reminds me of a Christmas decoration. Those trees that are done kind of like tinsel trees. Very nostalgic. And then we've got some ribbon and holly and berries. This makes me think of the ribbon candy. You know the ribbon candy you get? It's all in a box and it's all lumpy and bumpy back and forth. Yeah. That's the thing when you look at things that are meant to be vintage. You think of all the things in your past that it reminds you of, right? Here we have gorgeous candy canes and holly and mistletoe and things, and also gorgeous snowflakes all in the center. Beautiful. Loving that. And then the back side, we have Christmas stockings full of little gifts and candy canes and boughs and beautiful gorgeousness. Love that. And then we have the really glitzed up Christmas trees with lots of strings of shiny things and candles glowing. How gorgeous is that? And then the back side, we have another stripe using some of the greens, the pretty peacock, and the shaded spruce on there. Gorgeous. So that is the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series Paper Collection. There we go. But as well as the beautiful paper, there is also the stamp set and the dies that coordinate with it. So here's the stamp set with, again, with that beautiful iconic stocking full of all the good things, candles, some holly and berries, and a beautiful bow. And the sentiments are, for someone special, let's celebrate the season, have a very Merry Christmas, wishing you joy and happiness. And then there's the coordinating dies that cut out the images plus one extra image, which is this little leafy cluster here. There is a shaded spruce satin and sheer ribbon that coordinates with it, and also some druzy adhesive backed embellishments. And I went and looked up what druzy means, and it's based off a German word. And now can I remember? I think it has to, you know, when you go into like caves and it has like jewels and stuff kind of encrusted on the walls in a cave. That's what druzy kind of represents. So there's like lots of glittery, glammy gunk all shoved in these embellishments to make them super sparkly. So they're druzy. Diane, you found us, hooray! So here are some of the artwork that has been created with this collection. They've used here some lovely pretty peacock in the background for the base of this card, added in some of that gorgeous Christmas tree paper, and then some probably basic beige in here, stamping out that Christmas stocking, but then stamping it again, die cutting it out, and coloring it all up, adding on a sentiment. Then here they actually used it as gift wrap, so you could do that. And then this one, they've created a collection of cards using that one sheet that has the candy canes all around the outside edge. So you can make a whole set of cards just based on how you cut it out. And here they've used the stripes in the background, adding in a layer, stamping out those gorgeous hollies and coloring them in with watercolor pencils or regular pencil crayons. Let's celebrate the season. And then this one, they've added a big dovetailed tag in the background, some of the gorgeous green stripes, a lovely big circle. There's some of the ribbon here. They have heat embossed with some silver onto the, that looks like, what color? Cherry cobbler, maybe? No, I think it's darker than that. Maybe it is. Cherry cobbler. And then here they stamped multiple images of the candle and layered them one on top of the other. So if it looks pretty stamped just one time, you can go ahead and stamp it 2 times. So that is the Sentimental Christmas Suite. And then next we have the Nests of Winter. And this is the one where I actually have everything for it, because this was the collection that was part of the Creativity Now event that Stampin' Up! Had. So the Nests of Winter has Real Red, Copper Clay, Garden Green, Coastal Cabana, which does not sound Christmassy, but that's okay. Crumb Cake and Gray Granite in it. So there's sort of greens and different kinds of reds and earthy tones, and then some gray as well. So let's see. I've got all the extra bits stacked up here first. So this stamp set that goes with this collection is called Winterly Treetops, and this is the only stamp set I have from the catalog. And there are some gorgeous wintry birds here with little berries and branches, and then there's this bough of evergreen or green foliage. Foliage, yes. And then there's one that looks kind of like a pussy willow, although I have seen people use this and made it look like Christmas lights as well, so lots of options. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's called Winterly Treetops, so you think, okay, it's a Christmas one, but none of their sentiments are for Christmas. They're just really good sentiments, so you could use this in the springtime, you could use it in the summertime, you could use it in the fall or the winter. So they're sending thanks and much love, thinking of you always, and a friend like you brings me happiness. None of those say Christmas, so that's kind of cool. And so that's the stamp set. And then there's also the dies that go with it, the Winterly Treetops dies. Again, you can get them as a bundle or you can buy them separately, but save a little bit when you buy them as a bundle. So this gives you the die that cuts out a nice frame of evergreens. It also cuts out the 2 birds from the stamp set, some little evergreen boughs, the little pussy willows, another little bough that can be added on top of there, and yet another one that can be cut out. And then this is the bough from the stamp set. But the stamp or sorry, the dies for the birds also cut out birds in the designer series paper. So that's super cool. So that's the dies for the winterly treetops. And then there is also an embossing folder. And this is a birchwood 3D embossing folder. And it is a nice size. It is a 6x8 embossing folder. So even if you wanted it for scrapbooking layout, you um, can certainly make that work because of its large size. Then there is also some Natural Tones linen thread, and that's in like copper clay and garden green and night of navy are probably the three colors. That's what it looks like to me. So some nice little thread there. And then also there is the Earth Tone Shimmer Gems. Let me see. There's 200 little gemmies in here. You gotta take them out and play with them. There we go. So there's one. That's why I took it out, because I knew there was one color or non-color that was hidden. So there's sort of that copper clay look, then there's basic beige, some garden green, and then some sort of just off-white. Very pretty and very glittery. Woohoo! So those are the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. And then let's look at the paper. Now that we've gotten down to the paper, everything else was piled on top. So our first page are these gorgeous, gorgeous birds. And I just want to bring back in the dies here so I can show you that this page, the birds on this page, can you see that? The die fits right on there. So if you're like me and you want to get some of those birds out of that pattern paper and use them as embellishments, you don't even have to fussy cut. You can just use the die. And then too, if you also kind of don't really want to do any coloring, your bird is already colored for you because it's already from the pattern paper. So there's gorgeous little birdies on there and the berries, and then the back side is this beautiful Coastal Cabana sort of diamond grid, hand-drawn, distressed-looking pattern. Then we have this really pretty one that looks like birch trees, the gorgeous grays, but in the little birch trees are all these cute little birds just kind of flitting about as they do in the winter time. All those cute little birds. So isn't that a gorgeous pattern? The back side of that is this sort of winter foliage, but it could also be a springtime one. But when you look at it first, you think, okay, it's just flowers. Then when you look closer, there's little birdies hiding in all of these little fluffy little tufts. And super cute, don't you think? Then the next one, we have some interesting looking birds on here too. I like that every page is not the same kind of bird, right? So if we go back to this one, we've got red and black birds and then blue with yellow. There are no red and black and then Coastal Cabana and yellow birds on this one. They're different, and I think that is really kind of interesting. And they're all in different poses. They've all got different little clusters of foliage around them. Some that are flying, some that are sitting, and lots of little pine cones and beautiful goodness in there. And then the back side is this gorgeous garden green, sort of distressed, hand-drawn, watercolory, stripy number. And then here we have a whole sheet of just birch bark. Isn't that pretty? Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then the back side, look at all those pussy willows. Aren't they beautiful? I love that it's a teeny tiny little pattern to go with those larger patterns. Then here on this page, we have yet again some more birdies. And aren't they so sweet? Again, they're different kinds of birds than what were on the other, although these ones are the same. But these ones here are all different. And they're not exactly the same. They're in different poses, but similar colorings. Isn't that pretty with the bows? And then the back side is again the coastal cabana, and it just looks like a snowy sky. Isn't that beautiful? There's like faded out bits and blobs, and then there's hand-drawn circles and dots in front, and it's just gorgeous. Love that color. And then this last sheet is actually one that would be great for using on a 2-page layout, so you could cut it across the center and then pull it apart and use, you know, all the way across the 2-page layout. Or you could cut it this way, make 6 card fronts with it, some pussy willows, and again, the birds just kind of flitting around in the pussy willows. And then again, there's sort of that frosted in the back, faded out snow, and then little circles and dots in the front. But if you wanted to use this for a different time of the year, this could even look like in the late spring, early summer, when like all the poplar fuzz and things are blowing through the air. So there is the Designer Series paper set that goes with the Nests of Winter suite. So many beautiful options there for birdies. So if you're a bird watcher, or somebody who likes taking photos of birds, or somebody who just likes bird, that is definitely fun. Or if you have bird feeders outside your window and you like to take birds of them. Diane says, you tried to hide, but I found you. Hooray. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the artwork that was created with this. We've got here, they're showing how you can die cut out. Here they've layered up a couple different pieces of the pattern paper. There's the birch in behind, and then those beautiful birds, and they've just kind of juxtaposed them one this way, one that way. A little tag with some twine. And then here they've layered 2 different dies, die cuts of the evergreens. I'm going to show you that process later, adding on some birds and a sentiment. Here they have actually stamped the birds. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but they've stamped the birds in gray on this basic beige in the background. And then the beautiful swag, they've stamped it above and below to make it look like a wreath, which I think is super fun. And then adding in some embellishments. And then here you can see the 3D embossing folder in the background on the crumb cake, and then that gorgeous sort of faded out snowy coastal cabana pattern, some boughs from that swag, a little birdie tucked in there, super cute. Here they've used the birch and they've created a little gift bag out of it. Isn't that fun, with little tissues sticking out? Beautiful. Okay, so let's flip over to the next page. And the next collection is called Snowy Scenes. And the colors in this one are Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Garden Green, Pool Party, and Early Espresso. So the dark colors in this are a brown and a green. And then all the other colors are sort of really punchy, bright red, pink, and orange, and a little bit of Pool Party in there for sort of this aqua color. So let's take a look at the pattern paper, because that's super fun. All right, so our first, let's just bring the whole thing in. Let's bring the whole stack. Our first sheet are these gorgeous Snowy Scenes snow globes. Aren't those super cool? I love how large they are, how colorful they are. There's little houses, snowman, penguins, trees. So many fun things, all the fun colors in there. You can see the pumpkin pie. It's not often you see orange brought into sort of a winter Christmassy thing. The back side is this gorgeous petal pink done with snowflakes. Again, sort of distressed. Some are faded out, some are more in the forefront. I don't know if you'll even see the pattern that great on the camera, but it is beautiful. So that's our first page. And then a whole page of penguins. Who wouldn't want a whole page of penguins? So there's this little guy with a hat on. This guy's got a peaked hat. And then we've got this guy in a scarf. This little guy has a present. This guy's just hanging out. And then there's little sort of geometric trees here and there. Little snowflakes. Looks icy and chilly, but yet cute and cuddly all at the same time. And then on the back side, we've got some of that pumpkin pie in Christmas trees all over the back. And they're a teeny tiny pattern. Super fun. Then we have a page of lovely snowmen. This one's got some I want to say headphones because my daughter wears headphones all the time. Earmuffs and scarf and a toque. And then, of course, a top hat because, you know, that's just goes without saying. Some of them even have a little bit of the yellowy orange there. Lots of little trees and snowflakes. And then on the back side, we've got this Poppy Parade and Petal Pink plaid. That is a tongue twister. Poppy Parade and Petal Pink plaid. Gorgeous. It's easier to look at than to say. Then a whole page of sort of large size holly and berries. Beautiful. A lovely stripe, but it's an uneven stripe. It's done like hand drawn, so there's squiggly and wiggly bits, which is super fun because nothing's ever perfect. And then this is my favorite, I think, because it's all the little houses, and that's just super cute, and I love little houses. And I think this would be great for, say, you've been out looking at all the neighbors' Christmas lights or Christmas caroling or anything like that, or, you know, traveling to somebody's house for the holidays. That would be a super fun look for this, or just showing the decorating on your house. And then the back side is gorgeous candy canes in 2 different colors, the Petal Pink and the Poppy Parade. And then the last page, and again, you get 2 of each of these, are smaller snow globes. Isn't that cute? And there's a little bit different snow globes in here too. We've got the little penguin with a tree. There's this little house. There's this a snowman with a yellow hat. There's a Santa snowman. There's this little cluster of houses. So many fun things. Every time I look at it, it's one of those pages where you're going to see something different. And then the back side has the garden green and the pool party all done up together to create these gorgeous snowflakes, but in greens. Something you don't often see is snowflakes in greens. So this is the Designer Series paper collection for snowy scenes. I'm loving all of these large 12 by 12 papers, aren't you? Because as you know, Stampin' Up! Has 12 by 12 collections and also 6 by 6. And we will look at a 6 by 6 one. But most of the ones in this catalog are 12 by 12, which is great for doing lots of card making, but also scrapbooking. Okay, let's set this aside and we'll look at the rest of the collection. So there's also a stamp set called Snowy Wonder in this collection, and it has this cute little house. And then there's little snow mountains. There's penguin and a snowman. There's a few trees. There's a present. There's a hat for the snowman. Then there's some holly and berries and snowflakes and splatters and another big snowflake. Season's greetings, let it snow, and Happy New Year are all on there. And then the dies over here cut out all of these different images. But then there's also a round snow globe and a curved top snow globe with a base that works for either of them. And is there anything else that's different from the collection? Yeah, these little sparkly bits. And it's one die that cuts out a whole bunch of them. They're like the little like bursts, you know, to show a glittery goodness. And then there is some white loose sequins that are white loose snowflakes, not sequins, snowflakes. Great for doing like little shakers and things. And then there's also a pool party pom-pom ribbon. So it's got the little teeny tiny pom-poms down the sides. So super cute. I'm loving, because you know me, I like cutesy things too. And so I'm loving all the cutesiness. The next page, we're going from cutesiness to grown-up, all in one fell page swoop. And so this is the Regal Winter Collection. In here, the colors are Cherry Cobbler, Wild Wheat, Pretty Peacock, Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, and Berry Burst. So very rich, saturated colors. To get the idea, let's first look at the Designer Series paper collection. And it's a 12 by 12 again. And let's start taking a look. Look at that gorgeous pattern, and it's got the dark colors in the background, so it's not a white base. Beautiful florals, so many beautiful colors in there. The back side is then something a little more, it's dramatic, but it's also more subdued. There's not as much color, it's very monochromatic, and you will see that on the back side of all of these. So that's the first one. The next one, this one kind of leans more to leaves than to florals, but there still are florals in there. Lots of Blackberry Bliss in this one, and a little bit of the Berry Burst as well, and some Cherry Cobbler. The back side is a Wild Wheat plaid-ish pattern, kind of a textile looking design, like a waffle weave. And then here we have the Blackberry Bliss coming through with lots of the foliage again, with little hints of florals, but mostly foliage. The back side, woo, look at that, Pretty Peacock. And very textural. I don't even know if it's going to pick up the textural detail in the pattern on the camera. And then the next one we have, look at that, Night of Navy with the dark background. I just find these are so stunning. Lots of gorgeousness. The back side, look at that. Another one that's very florally, lots of color, just bursting with color. Very regal colors. I wonder how they got the name Regal Winter. Now, this says winter on it, but it doesn't have to be used for winter. These are also great for the fall. There was one lady who was using them for, I think, thank you cards for her daughter's wedding. And so lots of good ideas there. There's one in the Wild Wheat. And on the back side, the Pretty Peacock with that same sort of waffle weave design. So there is the 12 by 12 Regal Winter Designer Series paper. So you definitely need to be somebody who likes florals for this one. But I think even just a hint of this paired with some lovely cardstock or hold on, almost there, or some Regal Distressed Pattern paper would also be really pretty. So there is a part of this collection. This is called the Regal Distressed Patterns. Regal Distressed Patterns. And it's a specialty DSP. And it has got gold foiling. Is the light picking up the gold foiling? So this one is sort of a basic white color with gold foil in a lovely little grid. And then we have some Cherry Cobbler with the gold foiling. And you can see it's distressed, like the foil isn't consistent everywhere. There's little bits and pieces that are kind of distressed out. The back side is just plain. It's a single-sided thing, and you get two of each sheet. And then look at this one. Woo, with the Pretty Peacock and the leaves. Isn't that stunning? So not only is there the gold foil, there's actually like a faded pattern of the leaf in the Pretty Peacock in behind. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Let me hold it still. Can you see that? No, it's just gonna mostly show you the foil. So that is the 12 by 12 Regal Distressed Patterns Specialty DSP. So we mix those in with some of those gorgeous florals, and boy oh boy, you got quite a good mix going on there. All right, and then we have Regal Flora stamp set, and this is really pretty. These look almost like watercolor paintings of flowers and leaves. And so there's these three together, a single one, this little cluster, a couple little flowers, and then some tinier leaves. Wishing I were there to give you a hug, sending love your way. Thanks, missing you. And then there's also some dotted sort of distressed, messy on messy stamping. Then we've got the dies that cut out those images as well as a floral strip. And then these two, which create this really fun stitched frame situation. And then also there are Regal foiled adhesive back dots. And so there's the garden green and the blackberry bliss and the night of navy and some of the berry burst, all with gold foil, as well as blackberry bliss and gold textured ribbon. Let's flip over to this side so you can see some of the artwork that has been created. Here they've put some cardstock on an angle with the ribbon. They've used that dotted distress messy on messy stamp to do some gold foiling dots in behind. Then they've stamped out the florals and foliage and in some wild wheat and some pretty peacock and layered them all up. Use some bling for the centers of the flowers. Here's that gorgeous distressed foil and then that funky shaped frame layering up with some ribbon. And in the background, they've used berry burst, possibly inked. I think this is maybe inked on white cardstock, and cut out that strip, that foliage strip here, or floral strip, and just added it in behind everything. Really pretty. This one you might, hint, hint, remember from our sneak peeks. They've actually wrapped a gift and added on the center of this as a tag. Then here they've layered up a couple frames in different colors and then added the sentiment in there as well, a little bit of twine. And here they've used the strips from that die, the floral die, just layering all the way across to create a fun background. And here they've used that dot stamp again to add a little bit of extra in the background. And this is all just stamped right onto the card base, or a panel on the card base, and then a little bit of layer with some of that distressed Regal's paper and then sentiment added on top. Really pretty. So that is the Regal Winter. How are we doing for time? Ooh, we're just over an hour. We're almost there. Splendid Autumn. This is the last of our pattern papers, and this is a 6x6 collection. So I'll kind of hold it a little closer to the camera. And this collection was created using pastels. So the artist used pastels to create the scenes, and then they were photographed. So I'll just kind of go through them here. There's quite a few of them. In these 6x6 collections, you get 48 sheets. So there's 4 of each. That looks like Queen Anne's lace to me. Just kind of there in the fall breeze. Look at that. A little path going through the gorgeous fall trees. A little bit of a pond or something over here. And then some distressed backside. Look at that. A gorgeous autumn sunset across the fields and the fence rows. Here we've got a gorgeous lavender field, or well, not lavender, but kind of lavendery color. The colors in this collection are Cherry Cobbler, Cajun Craze, Wild Wheat, Mossy Meadow, and Moody Mauve. So that's a mauve field of flowers. Another gorgeous one with a little creek running through it. Like these look like they could just be framed. Little path going along the side of the cluster of trees, backside. Some gorgeous daisies. Just realizing I'm not exactly on the screen. Look at that. Gorgeous trees in the fall. All the oranges and reds. Beautiful. A little bit of a wheat field happening here. Or little grasses on the side of a field. So that is the 6x6 Splendid Autumn Collection. There is also the Autumn Expressions stamp set and die bundle. May the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. Change can be beautiful. You've got this, dear friend. Have a perfectly lovely day. Grateful for you. There's a lovely sort of cross cut of a log, an acorn leaf. I think that's acorn. And some little wheat sheafs, little wheat stems. And then the dies for this are quite interesting. They create kind of a really funky frame shape, and there's a little chain and a little placket thing, so you could make it look like a funky vintage carpet bag type purse. It could be a framed item on a wall. And so they've done this as one piece, so you can fold it in half and sandwich some DSP in between. Really kind of cool. Then there's also the faux glass dots, and they come in 4 different colors. Then this is kind of interesting. They've got woven gold leaves. So these are like, the word's escaping me. They're kind of very meshy, and they're cut out, and they're gold, and they're shiny. And then there's also some wild wheat striped ribbon, rustic striped ribbon. So let's take a look at the artwork, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about with this frame here. How it's been folded in half. There's like a little clasp, a little chain. They've done it in the silver foil. So it looks kind of a vintage purse look. But here they've done it vertically, so it looks more like a framed wall hanging. They've layered it up with those gorgeous daisies in the background, then some of that plaid, another bit of a sky in the frame, and then there's those gold leaves. Bit of ribbon, bit of stamping. Here's another one with the gorgeous scene in behind. I like how they used some gold from, what am I trying to say? The wild wheat ribbon. They kind of ripped it apart. So it's very frayed, and they pulled strings out of it to make sort of a cluster in behind there, and then die cut out the leaves. Then here they've stamped repeatedly those wheat, just the little few bits of wheat. They just stamp, 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 stamp everywhere, and then added on the sentiments. And down here, they've stamped the leaf in the background, added just some gold embossing on black, and then put the frame around it and tucked in some die cut as well as those little gold mesh leaves. Really pretty. All right, so that is the end of the paper collections, and then we move on to some bundles. So these are dies and stamps type bundles. Are the messy dots a heart? No, they're just kind of a random shape. Sorry, I missed it it kind of just looks like they took a cluster of dots. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there. And it's just sort of faded out. It kind of looks like a chicken, almost. It's just a random shape. But you could stamp it and then die cut out a heart. Totally could. Or you could create a mask that's heart-shaped and stamp the dots through it. So the first thing here is a take a bow bundle, or take a bow, but they're making bows. So there are a set of dies and a paper collection that were designed to create bows. So there's a Take a Bow 6x6 designer series paper. You get 48 sheets. There's stripes, dots, larger dots, some sort of blingy bursts, candy stripes, multicolored plaid, mistletoe, and some green and green dots. And then there's all the different sizes of the dies used to create the different layers of the bow. And of course, you got to put it all together, which probably hot glue would be the best option. Then we have the Christmas Labels bundle. I'll give you a little look at that artwork there. And this is to create fun labels. Now you could use those same labels dies with other sentiments that fit, although this one is a little bit harder to kind of manage. But here they actually cut it out several times and kind of layered it up. So there's a couple white ones, and then there's some of that gorgeous Season of Elegance, and then they cut it out in the white again. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the swirly Christmas labels dies to create this. And then they did some of that Winterly Treetops embossing folder, or Nests of Winter. There's that lantern from the Sentimental Christmas, adding on a Be Merry label. And then here's some of the Country Woods wood grain in here. They've created a little box and added on the label there. So there's different sentiments. Peace on earth, celebrate the holidays in all the ways. Hope your season is filled with magic. Be merry. Sweet as sugar plum candy. Merry Christmas to you. Winter wishes to you. Merry and cozy. It's a hot cocoa day. Love and joy and believe. And then the 4 different dies there. So that's the Christmas Labels bundle. Then we have the Light the Year bundle. I really like this one because I like lanterns. And so here they've done sort of a gift wrapped boxed All is Bright. And they've actually used, I think, yeah, they used one of those labels on there. But they have the candles here stamped multiple times and added on the front. Then we have Wishing You Peace, Joy, and Light, which is one of the sentiments. I love here how they've got the 3 lanterns in there. They've created, pardon me, I got hiccups, a nice little frame and a little bit of clustering there. So we've got sending light and love this time of year. All is bright. Wishing you peace, joy, and light. And then the 2 sizes of lanterns, some boughs, some pine cones, 2 layers of pine cones, 2 layers of the little branches, a candle, a bow. So you can have the candle in your lantern, or like over here, you can have it separate. And then, of course, dies that cut out all those little bits and pieces plus a little bit extra, because there's always going to be a little bit extra just to make you want to buy the die set too. And then we have the Decorative Trees bundle. This one is super cute because you get, look at all of these dies. So the stamp set has Seasons of Greetings, A Very Merry Christmas for You, Oh Christmas Tree. There's some swirlies, some tick marks, May Your Days Be Merry, stars, baubles, another star, a little cluster of things. There's a little dangly, and then background and highlight of the tree. But then all these dies, look at the variety of die. There are 17 dies, and 8 of them are trees, and the rest are sort of decorations for the tree. How cute is that? You could really make lots of fun ornaments and tags and embellishments out of those. So here they've done some repeated stamping of the Oh Christmas Tree on an angle in behind, then layered up these trees using lots of fun accessories from the die set. Here they've made little ornaments. There's another one where they've done some stamping in the background with the squiggle and these little dashed lines. Really cute. They've used gold foil to add the embellishments. Then next we have the Christmas Friends bundle. This might have been part of the sneak peeks, hint, 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 and it's page 43. These are cute little guys. We've got an owl and a bear and a moose and a mouse. And it says, Happy Holidays, have a very Merry Christmas. I will be thinking of you this season. And they're just so chubby and fluffy and ready to hibernate for the winter. Then down here we've got the pieces that cut out the animals. Then there's a couple swags. There are little music notes dies, super cute presents, a speech bubble, there's stars and a bow and a little tree, and this circle. So you can see here they've used the circle in the background with the moose on top, and the moose is skating, so he's got 4 skates on. Then they've added the little gold stars on top. Here we've got this circle, and what they've done is they've put some espresso in the background and then layered up this pattern paper and cut out the circle so it looks like he's coming out of his cave with some presents and a little swag. It says, have a very Merry Christmas. And then we've got the owl here on top of that Seasons of Elegance paper. Little bit of that twine from the, was it the Snowy Scenes collection? And super cute. And they showed them as being all colored with watercolor pencils or pencil crayons. On our next page, we have Hang an Ornament Bundle. So in this bundle, you get the stamp and the dies. The stamp creates these 2 ornaments plus some extra accessories. And it says, just for you and all is merry. And then the dies down here, you get the ornament, but not just the ornament. Let me lift it up so you can see. It's the ornament inside of a square. So if you want to cut the ornament out of the center of something like they did over here, you can. And then there's some interesting shapes. There's some circles, some little leafies and hollies, and the little topper and a little hook. So here they've done some of the exposed brick or distressed brick, exposed brick embossing folder in the background. They've done some random stamping with this little evergreen bough on this border, and then they've stamped up and die cut out Merry Merry on these ornaments. They add a little bit of gold foil for the topper and the hook, and a little bit of holly on there. This one they've done some stamping in the background as well. Then they stamped on the green for the ornament, but then had another ornament that kind of went on the inside of that. And that's a cute idea. You can leave a space for an ornament, but ensure that there's still decoration there, but have a second ornament that kind of sticks in there that the person can take out and have for their tree. It's like a gift in a card all in one. Then we have the one-of-a-kind bundle with snowflakes. And so there are 4 different sizes of snowflakes. There's 2 for a tag. There's a little swirl, a little snowy swirl. Thank you for your kindness. A little something just for you. Sending a flurry of happy wishes. You are a one-of-a-kind, wonderful friend. Hope you have the merriest season ever. Then the dies, both the outline and the detail for the large snowflake. There's no dies for the little one, just the largest one. But then you can see here how they've used that swirl stamp to create some fun in the background. And they've done a little bit of splattering as well, layering up oodles of those stamped and die-cut snowflakes. And then adding on some die cuts to create a center focal point. Here they've used some of that distressed regal winter along with some cardstock that has been stamped and gold heat embossed with a little sentiment. And here they've created just a little box and added a band around it and a snowflake and a little bit of twine. So pretty. One of a kind bundle, because every snowflake is one of a kind. All right, then we have the Humble Home bundle and the Sweetest Star bundle. So let's take a look at the Humble Home. It comes with a stamp set and a punch as opposed to a die. And the stamp set creates a brick house with a roof and this sort of gingerbread house look. Thank you for coming. Merry Christmas for the sweet gift. Welcome home. From Our House to Yours, To From, there's a little wreath, there's a heart, there's the doors and windows, and then there's the punch that cuts out all the little pieces. So here they've created a tag. They've just repeat stamped the word welcome. Then they stamped the brickwork and the roof. So it's a plain Jane kind of house. This one is just die cut and then stamped the heart and the word home. So this is a welcome home tag. Here's that lovely plaid that we saw as one of the designer series paper. And then a stitched circle, a little gingerbread house stamped and die cut. Thank you has been heat embossed, and then for the sweet gift as well. Here's another little tag. So lots of different variations. You can see that none of the houses look the same. This one's super cute. They cut it out and put it together in such a way that you can actually lift the little house and see the little greeting on the inside. So it's like a lift-a-flap. You remember those books where you had to lift all the flaps? And this is the Sweetest Star bundle. So this has a punch that cuts out this star, but then you make 3D stars by scoring a line from point to point with the paper trimmer's scoring blade attachment, and then fold each score line for an added pop of dimension. So you can see here on this wreath, they have cut different DSP and cardstocks and then scored them in between the points, or from point to point, and then folded them back and forth to create lots of dimension on there. And so the Sweetest Star, there's a gingerbread star, a Santa star, and a Mrs. Claus star. It says, may your days be merry and bright, baking spirits bright, sweet wishes, wishing you a holly jolly Christmas. And then there's sort of this little cluster of snowflakes that's there. So besides the wreath, they also did some stamping with those snowflakes all over as a background and did some gold heat embossing. And then they added this one on as 2 layers. And I'm just looking. What I think they did was they actually cut out 2 gold stars and layered them just a little bit off of each other. And then the red one in the center. And then down here, they've got a couple gingerbread men and Mrs. Claus. They've got that candy cane DSP in the background, and then use the postage dies to cut out that real red portion in the center. And then a little tag, baking spirits bright. Now we get into some fall stamps. And we've got the Artful Amaryllis bundle and the More Than Autumn bundle. So the Artful Amaryllis, little side story, my grandparents would always get an amaryllis bulb and grow it. And it would always be blooming at Christmas. And so that was a yearly tradition. I have a lot of photos of their amaryllis that was blooming every Christmas. And so this is kind of one of those ones where I went, oh, because it was a thing my grandparents did every year. So the stamp set has 2 different parts of the amaryllis, the outline and then the fill-in bits, so you can use different colors. It's got You Made My Day, Sending Happy Thoughts, Thanks, Hello, Wishing You a Bright and Beautiful Christmas. And then there's also the little sort of stamens that go in the center down there, and a little extra something or other. I guess that color's in this little bit. And then the dies. So there's the dies for what's here, but then there's also extra ones that create their own amaryllises and a little bit of patterning there as well. So you can see this one is completely done with the dies, and they've just inked the cardstock to create these gorgeous layered amaryllises. And then here is the stamped and then colored in version. And these are the stamped and stamped version. They added a little bit of the country woods on here. They did some background stamping and background. So this little piece actually makes this pattern that's in like stitch line. And I don't know if you can see that, but they've done it in the background here as a little border. And it's just little stitched design. Then the More Than Autumn bundle, for those of you who are into pumpkin spice and everything nice, then this is the one for you. So there's lots of sentiments in this More Than Autumn set. We've got Nothing's better than, grateful it's finally, love you more than, you had me at, except maybe you, this calls for, to my, hello, and is the best. And then they've got pumpkin, season, fall, apple, donuts, autumn, eggnog, hot cocoa, peppermint, cider, pie, spice, and you are the, there's an and. So you could say, nothing's better than autumn, except maybe you, or love you more than hot cocoa. And then down here, there's donuts and pie and all the little toppings for your hot drinks. And there's like takeaway cups, some pile of whipped cream, little cookies and trimmings down here. And then, of course, the dies. But the dies also cut out some wording, which is kind of fun. Nothing's better than hot cocoa season, pumpkin, spice, apple, coffee, latte, all that kind of stuff, as well as the goodies. So there you can see, look at all those good sweet treats that have been cut out and stuck on. Love it, love it. All right, we're going to flip the page. Okay, the next is called Frozen Edges, and I kind of like this one too. And so the stamp set has these icicles all along here. Then there's a big cluster of snowflakes and a single snowflake. And then it says, let yourself rest, wishing you a cozy day, snuggle up and hope for snow. Those are the sentiments. And then the dies, there's an edge that's all snowflakes and an edge that's icicles, as well as 4 different snowflakes. So you can see here in the artwork, they've done some stamping with the cluster of the snowflakes, and then they've also cut the snowflake edge. Very pretty. Added on with a little bit of ribbon, one of these Spotlight on Nature circles. And here they've done the snowflakes on both sides, and then just added the little sentiment in the center. Added some extra ones from the individual dies in silver foil. And then here they've got some pattern paper in the background. That's that one that had the lantern on it. So it's got the beautiful bough of evergreen there. And then they've added on the stamped and the die cut icicles, kind of layered them up. And then some extra snowflakes on there in pretty, shiny, glowy goodness. This page, you're going to see me posting something about this, but this is kind of giving you 4 different color design groupings, I guess. So this is classic Christmas, sort of the reds and greens, Christmas chic with sort of the browns and creams, Wonderland wishes with some more of the pinky bits in there, and then the glam ones with the really sort of jewel tones colors. And then over the page, we've got some stamp sets, not die bundles. This one's called Dear Santa, and it's got Have an Ice Christmas, and there's a little shaky guy on his skates. Dear Santa, all, backward letters and all, as she's writing out her list. Always love hanging with you, and there's a couple decorating the tree. And then this little gal here is eating some cookies and says, hope your holidays are sweet. So that is the Dear Santa stamp set. And then on the next page, we have festive words. And these say, fa la la on a stocking, my gift to you on a gift, Noel on the hat. Then there's just some sprinkly goodness. And then love, peace, and joy on a tree. And up here, it has this little thing that you might have missed, and it says Festive Glimmer Paper. You get 6 single-sided sheets of garden green, cherry cobbler, and granny apple green. So you get 2 of each. So lots of greens and reds in Festive Glimmer Paper. So sometimes you got to look at those pictures and see what you might be missing otherwise. This looks familiar because I think this was a sneak peek. So it's asking if you like sun or snow for your winter scrapbooking. And so we've got sending warm hugs and happiness. Thanks for being there. You make my heart happy. And then we've got sort of a Hawaiian shirt parakeet on his shoulder, kind of sun hat looking, sunglass wearing snowman. And then down here we've got the more traditional snowman with a top hat and a checkered vest. And he's giving an ice cream cone, or no, sorry, he's giving his carrot nose to the bunny. And it says Snowman Hugs. Then on the next page we have Surfing Santa. And Surfing Santa comes with Santa with his board shorts on his board, and he's got a lemonade or something in his hand. There's a seashell, the sun, a wave, some splatter from all the cresting of the wave. May your days be sunny and bright, and warm wishes, and some presents. So that is Surfing Santa. Alrighty. Next, over the page, I think this is probably my favorite set, and I was so sad that I gaffed up my order and didn't get it in here, but this is the Yuletide Village, and it's got a little church and a little house and another sort of double house, and then a single house over here. It's got little swag of bling bling lights, and then some little snowy bits. It's got a tree and another tree and a little bit of a brick sort of wall. That's called Yuletide Village, and I'm super excited. I really want to get this one. Then this one is a background stamp with falling snow. And so it's got little speckles and splatters and little snowflakes. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it because it's so tiny here. But and then down here at the bottom we have Shepherd's Care. And so we've got the shepherd with his sheep. We've got the big star and another little star. We've got a little Bethlehem village over here, some sprinkly snow, and then we've got peace on earth. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, Psalm 147:3. Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace, Mighty God, Everlasting Father. And then praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. Gorgeous. All right, over the page. Make your home bright. So they're giving some ideas to extend your crafting to your home decor and, you know, creating little wintry scenes, little tags for on your wreath, all sorts of fun things that you can do to decorate for the season, not just for card making and gift giving. You can decorate your own home. Now here, as we turn the page, it says gather with friends. And we've got all sorts of little bits and pieces there that have been created with these two stamp sets. The first one up here is called Caring Leaves, and it's two different leaves, and then they're coloring bits. So the outlines and then the coloring, and it says some things never change, and you're simply the best. Then down at the bottom we've got these lovely ladies. It's called Warms My Heart. So we've got this one with the wreath that says deck the halls with wreaths and holly. Then this one with the pumpkins, and it says hey pumpkin over here. Then this one with the bushel of apples, memories of you warm my heart. And over here it says I would pick you over and over again. And then this one has a snow globe. So lots of fun images there. Let me just show you the artwork a little bit. So there you can see they've used that splendid autumn or autumn splendor in the background with the frame, and then just put her right on the front there. Super cute. There they've done some background stamping with the leaves and then had the other leaf in behind the word friend. Here they've just clustered up a whole bunch of those leaves on top of that plaid embossing folder. So pretty. You got to mix and match with your crafty things. All right, we have Cheers to Love and Friendship on this page. And this stamp set is called Embraced with Love. So here up at the top, we've got Feel Better Soon, We're Better Together. And look at these two foxes are all snuggled up together in almost a heart shape. Spending time with you is such a joy. And we've got a bear and a bunny reading a book and drinking some hot cocoa, missing you. And then we've got the two kangaroos down here sharing some flowers. So here they've layered up with those spotlight on nature circles, I think. and put the 2 kangaroos there on top of some pretty peacock. Here is some of the DSP from the Take to the Skies collection, and then they've just added in, they've cut out the square, and then they've added these guys in behind with a little bit of inking around the edge. I love how they colored the quilt so colorful on there. Then here we've got our little foxes on top of, stamped right on that Distressed Regal Winter DSP. And they just stamped it right on there and colored them up. How cute is that? The next page we have Enjoying Little Things. And this stamp has lots of little sentiments here. It's got happy birthday in a little scallopy circle, and they're actually showing you with the outline that you can use a 2 3/8 inch circle punch to cut these out. So we've got happy birthday, hugs and kisses. There's another interesting shape. May your day be filled with sunshine and smiles. And then there's sending. Enjoy the little things. There's a little bit of a checker board pattern, some florals, and then there's a teapot, a puppy dog, and a bunch of flowers. So there's some artwork that they have done with that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, we're trying to go quick because time is just going. I didn't think it was going to take this long to get through a mini catalog. All right, the next one is Love and Strength, and I really like the sentiments in this one. So there's a gorgeous flower and some foliage, there's a heart, some splatter, and some little mountains, and it says, "It's okay if all you did today was breathe." This one says, "You matter, even when your brain tells you otherwise. Sharing love and strength this season. There is hope, and I am here for you." And I think those are really important messages. Sometimes we need to get those Happy Mail cards in the mail that just say things like that to let people know that it's going to be okay, and it's okay if it's not okay. And so here they've done some background stamping with the heart and the splatter to create a fun pattern. This one they repeat stamped the floral and then colored in just certain bits of it. They didn't color in the foliage, just the florals. Here they did some gorgeous ink blending in the background and used that splatter stamp, and then just added in the mountains and the sentiment at the bottom using some of the water brush to create that. This last page here is saying about earning rewards while you shop. So if you are putting in orders and your order reaches $200 in Canada, then you start earning rewards. And if it doesn't reach $200, currently we have host codes, and that helps me earn some things to help pay for prizes for the crops and whatnot. Then we've got an index, which is very handy when you're looking for something. And then, of course, there's a little bit of information about the Paper Pumpkin subscription, which I have subscribed to, and I have really been enjoying making some fun stuff from that. And also talking about stocking stuffers, and there will be something posted about that this evening as well. So keep an eye out for that, because you know what? Even though these things, we think of them as for making our cards and making our layouts, but there's a lot of things that we use, especially tools and things, that translate to other crafting, right? So like my daughter has blending brushes, and she uses those, the blending brushes, with her charcoal pencils and things like that. So it's not specific that it has to be for card making or for crafting. Watercolor pencils can be used for anything. Scissors, anything. So there's lots of things that translate to other hobbies and crafts and make wonderful stocking stuffers. And that is the end of the catalog. But wait, there's more. There's a QR code on the catalog, and that will take you to show the online exclusive items as well. Now, along with this catalog being launched today, there is also an online digital brochure for the September 2024 release of the scrapbooking workshop kits, and I posted a link to that. So if you've been waiting to see what Stampin' Up! Has been working on in terms of scrapbooking workshop kits, You will want to check those out. 2 of the collections from this catalog, the Snowy Scenes and Reindeer Days, have been made into scrapbooking workshops, but there are 2 more workshop kits that are from completely new. So new papers, new sticker sheets, new die cuts, new embellishments that aren't in this catalog. So you will want to check that out as well. Now, it is almost 7 o'clock. It's about 10-ish minutes to 7. And I will be back on at 7 o'clock. So you have time to get up, stretch your legs, get a cup of tea, that kind of thing, and get comfy, cozy, and come back, and we're going to do some crafting. So I'll see you at 7 o'clock. All right, toodaloo, see you soon. Bye.